Hello, friends. Welcome back to Creative Exploration with Pers. Tonight, my special guest is dotsimulate, who you might know if you're into TouchDesigner or into diffusion in general. Dot's been at this a very long time, and he made the very cool StreamDiffusion stuff for TouchDesigner and a whole bunch of other tools that I'll let him explain. Please introduce yourself, Dot. Welcome to the stream.
Hey. Where's my camera? I'm not going to look at it the whole time. But yeah, I'm dotsimulate, or Lyle, if you want to do like real names. Yeah, I do a bunch of like 3D art, real-time visualization stuff. TouchDesigner has been my main honcho for a while. It's not the technical term, but main program of choice. It's a wonderful development platform, fully node-based, as you will see. And yeah, I've been pretty much like working on building tools for TouchDesigner, specifically a lot of AI tools, and very specifically trying to think about like how I can build tools for other artists that really expose all of the parameters that you might want as like an artist or someone like creative director or someone where you can feel like you're really playing with the model, and TouchDesigner is in real time. So most of the stuff I try to get as close to real time as possible. That isn't always possible with all of these models, but a couple of them, like Stable Diffusion 1.5 or 2.1, which we'll see, it is running real time, and that's been really fun. But yeah, exposing all of the parameters so you really feel like you're getting a little nitty gritty with it. And then also have been, for a long time, like casually messing around with LLMs, using them to do a lot of like development for me, a lot of like research and a lot of stuff. But I see a little bit of potential for using them within your creative workspace, not as kind of like fully generating the output, but almost, I don't even want to say an assistant, but kind of like a sidecar tool that you could employ at certain points within like any sort of creative workflow. Nice part about TouchDesigner, I hopefully won't make this too much of just a commercial for TouchDesigner itself, but it might turn into that a little bit.
I mean, yeah. I feel like TouchDesigner is the next step after you start messing with Comfy, because like, you know, node-based visual programming languages and things like that. You know, this is definitely they go hand in hand. So this is really awesome for me because I'm just getting into Touch, but like I just love watching people who really know Touch do their thing. So this is like A+ for me.
And it's basically a full development platform. You can do full custom Python code in there, or you could stick to the like tons of nodes that they've set up and basically have all of these different simple math processes or simple channel processes. I'm not going to do an intro video for TD, but it is a fully fledged machine to build anything. So using it as like a development platform for creative tooling is great and really unlocks a lot. A lot of people use it for prevising art really quickly.
Yeah.
Or maybe like before they deploy it on the web, or just something to pull up for a client. And then oftentimes maybe it moves into like Houdini or some like pipeline Blender workflow or something. I don't know if people are using Blender yet for that, but they should. But I think that now there's a couple new things coming out with Touch, and the community has kind of rallied and started making a lot more tools recently. So I think it is starting to be really viable for like almost a full-on 3D real-time workflow, as well as just like, yeah, basically anything you want to do.
Yeah, I saw they have new like point operators and stuff to do more like
the pops,
more powerful 3D stuff. And that's also, we should mention that TouchDesigner, if you've ever been to a live concert, chances are the visuals are done in TouchDesigner or Notch or something like that. So this is like a platform for doing live visuals as well. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, you know, pay attention, because this is what a lot of people use to make truly audio reactive projects that like do stuff behind the band or the DJ or whatever. And for just regular installations in general, anytime you see visuals, there's a good chance TouchDesigner was involved at some part, if not running it live, you know.
Yeah, even if TouchDesigner is just basically launching other processes or automating some other thing, it's probably inserted somewhere or has been used, at least during the development at some point.
And now
Another
a lot of the other tools like Resolume and stuff, you can just load like TouchDesigner like projects as I think you can load them as like elements and stuff now too. So
yeah,
you know,
some
it's all
like
it's all coming together really nicely.
some kind of like, I mean, I don't want to say like he's a very experienced developer, but he's kind of new to the TD space. But the first thing that he did was just like, oh, here's a perfect C++ based plugin for Resolume that loads all toxes.
Yeah.
And a tox is like kind of like an encapsulated TouchDesigner project. My screen's open. Like this is like the default project, and I could save this as a tox. I don't really know why you would want the like swirly jelly bean tox, but right click, save component tox. But yeah, unlike Comfy, everything is collapsible, which is very nice. And that's really what makes the tool building really nice, because you can build tools just with nodes or with code, combination, all the things.
And expose the parameters that artists will actually need to use and hide everything that they might not necessarily need to mess with. So that's immensely powerful once you start creating with this stuff, because like as a lot of people who watch the show know, like with Comfy, everything's exposed all the time. So it can be overwhelming for a lot of artists to look at all the nodes and go, but with Touch, you know, you can expose certain parameters just to a, you know, maybe a controller or something, and then, you know, extrapolate it out so that you just remember what all the knobs and faders do, and you don't have to think about the guts anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many, like, when I'm making little just visual patches, like something as simple as putting like a little bit of noise at the end, and then maybe you add some level bump, collapse that down into a node or some sort of like encapsulated tool, and then you've got like your final post-processing workflow. You could just drop that into your next project with those same exact settings, and then just tweak 2 dials instead of going into like 10 nodes and tweaking a bunch. But
so powerful.
Yeah, I think, a couple just real quick slight tease. This isn't like anything. I actually, maybe I posted this on my Discord, but like this is like a little visualizer for my graphics card currently.
Oh, that's cool.
Got a little 4090. The entire graph is actually one GLSL shader.
Okay.
I'm doing the words. I'm instancing the words and stuff.
Right.
And then doing a little comping or something. Or actually the comping is within the component itself. But you see all of these things are also exposed as parameters, and I can turn it off, turn it on. But I made this, I guess, last July. Look at that.
Very cool.
And then, some other stuff. I got a bunch that we could dive into. This is just like, I don't even know, what was I doing with this? Oh yeah, this was a LTX video. I was setting up like a little workflow. I think I've also done these like language operators things, which maybe I'll explain more generally in a little bit. But this workflow is basically a little conversation where user says lake, and then the assistant responds with a perfect long video prompt. Then I say spooky house, perfect long video prompt, and then I'm actually having another agent generate a table of a bunch of short ideas / visual concepts / characters, and then I'm using those as the input to another agent in order to create a prompt, and then I can just run that on repeat. And then it's running into my Comfy TD node. So that is running a full Comfy workflow behind the scenes. You don't have to open the browser once you've got your thing set up, and you just, basically I'm just switching out the text prompt. And then, this is, I think I'm sorting by, oh no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm sorted by rating. So this is actually the highest rated output. So I am definitely showing off some cherry picked examples out of 645, but
oh wow,
some of these are with the video LTX model. It's pretty solid if you do a bunch of generations on random. Some of them are wacky.
Yeah, LTX is so fast. It's wild.
Yeah, it takes like, I mean, they say real time. Maybe I need to update my Comfy. There might have been some optimizations for that the process, the LTX model itself. But it takes like 12 to 15 seconds on my 4090 to make 4 seconds of video. And
That's
like,
amazing.
yeah, compared to like Runway or I guess I don't know about the internet models, but compared to anything else you can run locally, it is extremely fast.
Yeah, night and day. And
Browse
I think
through some non-cherry picked examples to see.
I think the you get a lot of benefits from using Sage Attention as well, like with Cog and the other one, Hunyuan. So if you
cool.
if you set up Windows Triton and go through that gauntlet of nonsense to get Sage Attention compiled on your machine, you can increase it even more, increase the speed even more.
With the LTX or just with the other two?
I think with all three of them.
That might be the thing. Might be what I need to do. Maybe you'll have to link me your how-to on that. I'm sure you've got one.
I do.
Nice. Yeah, I think to get the MM audio model, which is also super awesome, that takes video and actually creates audio, which is like a process that I would have assumed like we would have almost had by now, but I guess no one's really thought of training a diffusion model that does that.
Yeah.
But I was running a bunch of these LTX outputs through it and got some good results. But in order to do that, I needed to upgrade my torch, which isn't the craziest thing, but
yeah, it's still
upgrading those things in Comfy always makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, it'll break 6 other things to fix one thing.
It hasn't broken anything yet. I haven't found the thing it breaks, but yeah.
I did a good one and broke my Xformers the other day, so now I get an actual dialogue error message when I start up Comfy.
Oh, nice. It's just like, oops.
It's like a dialogue box, and then
you did something.
Yeah, I think one of the wrappers, Hunyuan or whatever, if you do that with Cog installed, it'll install the wrong version of Xformers and et cetera, et cetera.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I don't have the solve for it, but eventually there might need to be some sort of like, I don't even know what it would be, but yeah, Comfy dependency manager versus just a manager.
Well, our friend ACATS is working on the environment manager system, which
true.
Basically Dockerize all of your Comfy installs. So you're, it makes it easier to encapsulate all the nodes into one, and B, it actually kind of sequesters access from any random weird custom nodes from having access to your files. So it's a kind of a win-win. Especially with the advent of malicious code starting to happen in some of the custom nodes. So
that did happen. That's
a couple times. A couple.
Yeah. Not ideal.
No.
Not a fan. But it is almost par for the course, I guess, with something like this. You do want to be a little careful. Skeptical, I guess, is the right word.
But let's talk more about your language operator. So you're basically using API credits to talk to LLMs to have them do things for you. Is that the idea with the orange nodes?
Yeah. So these orange nodes are some custom operators I've made, and most of the processes go through this big guy. Oh, I'm displaying part of my API key, but
if you guys can guess the rest, you win.
Yeah, it's a free API key for Grok, so you're just going to run out of my rate limit if you really get it. Everything runs through this chat TD node, which works with a bunch of different API services, also LM Studio and Olama, so you can run things locally, which is nice.
Good. Yeah.
The models are a little bit slower locally. Actually, if they're light, they're faster, but some of the models struggle a little bit with JSON mode locally. I haven't really found necessarily the right one to work. I've also probably stepped away from the LOP development for like about a month of holidays and traveling. I just moved into a new apartment. If you can tell, all of the walls behind me are pretty blank. But this will eventually be some sort of like little computer studio. Hopefully have like a camera set up. I might start doing some live streams myself.
Yeah, that would be great, man.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe Sundays. That's what the poll is showing on my Discord. If
Yeah,
anyone's
right
in my
on.
Discord and wants to change that, there's a poll in general.
Oh yeah, we should actually, before we go into all this, we should talk about your Patreon because a lot of amazing stuff on there.
Word.
So yeah, why don't you talk about your community and your Patreon? Because if you guys want to get into Touch Designer, that's a great way to dive in because you've got a burgeoning community there that's ready to help, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the way I release all my stuff is pretty much on my Patreon page. And you can find it at patreon.com/dotsimulate. I can pull it up here in incognito mode. And yeah, for this $5 tier, you basically get all the Stable Diffusion stuff, and $10 you get all the stuff I've ever released. $25 is like only if you're making money on the stuff, and that's like if you really want to give me more money. Mm-hmm. Kind of like my main thing is this real-time diffusion, StreamDiffusion setup, which I can show off in a little bit, but that loads SDXL, SD Turbo, which is like 2.1 based, and also 1.5. SDXL is a little slow and doesn't really, like, it ups the quality, but not quite enough for the trade-off in speed.
Yeah.
But SD Turbo actually, when it was released under full non-commercial license, like research only. But I think in July, the stability commercial license, if you pay for that, that covers SD Turbo for full commercial use.
Very cool.
Which is, yeah, nice because it's also the fastest, the only like real-time viable model. And then you can use like a Photon LCM or some other 1.5 model with LCM, and that works nice as well. And I've got that here, a slightly outdated one because I have a couple updates, but this is the most, like, I guess, stable release. I've got control net working with a bunch of the control nets, which is super handy to ground the model a little bit. And also this thing called V2V, which adds a little bit of smoothness. Mm-hmm. And prevents a little bit of that flickering as well. But
nice.
Yeah, like I was saying, trying to expose as many of these parameters and all of the model process to you instead of having people writing like full-on diffusers code to create one little custom workflow.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have been using it. I've seen some like really awesome outputs from the community.
Yeah.
There was like one that I don't know if I would be able to link, but someone like messaged me and was like, oh, I used this for this giant theater production in Russia. And it was like StreamDiffusion on a 40-foot back wall. And I was just like, what? Like, that's awesome. That's a gig I would never get. Like, there's some things that I've seen that I was like, oh, maybe I could have done that if I don't know, really kept this close to home. But I've never really been one like that. If I've got something to share, I want to at least see what people will do with it.
For real.
And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the spirit of maybe not open source, but at least, play with it source.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, I'm like developing in public with a slight paywall just to make it worth my while. Absolutely. And also I think it pushes the quality up a little bit.
Yeah.
Do a little StreamDiffusion action with my default prompt, which is just default fancy banana, but you can see this. Usually it runs at like 35 FPS on my 4090. Perhaps I've got too many TouchDesigner projects open in preparation for this stream.
Still, holy
and
cow.
Now 2 monitors, 3 streams going to PERS, but yeah, we've got this running. Do a little V2V action, which might not actually work the best with text to video. You see it a little bit. It's a little bit more stable there, but it does this like transition thing where you change the prompt.
That's really neat. Yeah.
So you're almost doing like, really lazy seed travel right here.
Yeah.
But if we go creative exploration with PERS, and now we've got whatever StreamDiffusion is imagining, this little painting something or other.
Yeah, it looks exactly like my desk. It's not just coffee cups everywhere.
I'm gonna add another step in here, which should increase the quality a little bit. And then I might be I'm loading an embedding as well. I don't know nope, never mind. It's because it's a 1.5 embedding. It's not loading. That's nice, but it's not erroring out.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And then I can do, I think I should be able to get my camera going. There might be a little video device in and virtual cam.
Hey, nice.
As long as that doesn't, oh, we got a wonderful face there, and it's totally paused because the stream's taking it. But
right,
I can do screen grab, get the exposed full desktop, zoom out a little bit, desktop 2, display 1.
Talk about feedback.
Oh my god!
Sending your entire screen in as a.
Yeah, I might mess with this for the Genuary layers thing.
Oh yeah,
I might just do like a crazy screen grab layer something or other. But yeah, I'm literally taking the delayed YouTube feed. I'm just gonna pump it in here with my face.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And then plug that in there. Let's change it to image mode. And now we're shifting over to something. And oh yeah, it's gonna be terrible for me to interact with this. I'm now moving my head, but it's gonna take yeah, we'll see. We don't need to wait for that, but now you can see got a little dotsimulate over there.
Oh wow.
Turning into creative exploration with purrs. And back to it.
That's so trippy. It's like watching a hallucination in real time. It's great.
Yeah. And yeah, I feel like the real-time stuff, especially with the image models, really leans into like the trippy weirdness of this. And like just messing with this is, yeah, I get lost with it. And then, yeah, I'll stop being productive for like 10 minutes just playing with a tool.
Yeah.
Which it's cool. It feels that I'm like, oh, at least I did something. But maybe other people are having fun with it as well.
They definitely are. I've seen a lot of people post examples of using your stuff. I don't know if they tag you, but I just met somebody yesterday who was doing some really crazy stuff with the Looking Glass and your StreamDiffusion. And then,
with a Looking Glass? That's
they're
sick.
like grabbing a depth map in real time and then like displaying it on the Looking Glass in pseudo 3D. Very, very cool. Actually, let me pull up their name. I believe it was David something.
Go back to image or text image just because.
David Rees.
Oh. That name sounds familiar. I feel like he's tagged me or something. Maybe he's posted in my Discord, actually.
I'll drop a link to one of his tweets in the chat so you guys can see his Twitter and check it out. What's up, Shane? Shane's here.
Nice.
Zarya, Cosmic, Taz, Kirikou, Vash, Chrono Knight. What's up, everybody?
Cool.
Welcome.
I'm going to drop another little tool that I've made as just like a little sidecar boy for StreamDiffusion, but it's I called it the travel table. Nothing crazy, but I can just hit this auto set seed blocks and just do a little auto seed travel, so that can kind of
that's neat.
Start cycling through. And if I turn V2V off, you'll see the effect like a lot greater. So bring it down, and then you could like even ramp this on the beat or something.
Whoa.
It starts to go really crazy if you're going through. Yeah, I'm going through 43 frames a second right here.
Whoa.
But that's a little bunch.
Yeah, you can make it like latch on to the beat and stuff.
And then I can take another one. Let's see. I know I've just got a bunch of prompts. Prompts. Where is it? Prompts. Lots of prompts. This is just a table with a lot of prompts. We can plug this into the travel table and auto set prompt blocks. And now we're automatically prompt traveling and seed traveling with two of these guys.
That's crazy.
Most of the stuff in the Touch network, you're probably going to build with nodes yourself, but
And that's the
Like
other
we were
thing,
saying.
like with touch, everything that's happening is all exposed. So if you're playing music, it can understand what's happening with the music. You can grab different EQ bands and FFT and RMS and all the hits and feed all that in as data points to everything else. So if you really want to unlock the potential of what your computer can do, I mean, touch is, good Lord.
Yeah, and if you wanted to get real fancy with it and start compiling everything, or I guess it's not compiling, but just writing all of these math processes and stuff into a GLSL shader, now you start actually beating, well, yeah, I can't claim it for everything, but it's much faster than PyTorch for many things. So you're beating Python in terms of speed and efficiency for a lot of stuff.
Cosmic says, can the LLM node help you build your workflow?
Not quite. That might be that. Yeah, my approach with the LOPs stuff, or language operators, logic operators, LLM operators, could also just be like learning operators or something, isn't necessarily to build something for you yet. Right now, I'm kind of building blocks that you might want to play with as a person that's using the models. One of the things that the agent can do is take if I use tools, you can have a target operator, which let's go StreamDiffusion. And then the parameter, actually, I'm not going to do this on this agent. Let me drop a new agent. I don't know if this will work. Live demo. Parameters. So these are all my parameters on the custom op, which is StreamDiffusion. But I could just take prompt dictionary concept 0. Let's go one less. Add message. This is really rough and dirty, but set the prompt to a beautiful sunset. I even spelled that wrong. I spelled beautiful and sunset wrong, but we're going for it. And
beautiful sunset.
Info. Set the parameters no matter what. I'm just going to say that because I think that'll help. And model. Let's do Grok, but let's do one of the tool use preview ones. And real quick, I'm just going to make sure I've got the right models. Yeah, seems like that should work. Do a little pulse. And we got an error. Sick. But at least I know it. For a while, I didn't have any. Oh, yeah, it's because this. I knew that model has been depreciated. They said use this instead.
Speaking of new models, I've been going crazy with...
model not found. Oh, no.
I've been going crazy with DeepSeek version 3 lately.
I need to update my Grok list. Jeez. Yeah, DeepSeek. Yeah, let's go OpenRouter.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you want to talk about a lot of models.
Right.
It might even be... There might even be more. Update models. It returned 217 models. Don't
make that window wide.
Yeah, you're smart. You're smart.
Yeah.
Especially, look, it reset it here. I'll make it really tiny. Now no one can see it.
Yeah,
I just don't need to open that too
careful.
Much. Yeah.
Not that anyone here would do anything untoward.
No, not at all. We'll just post it on some other site. Like, I don't know. But that's too many. I'm going to just search. And just because I know I can do it, let's use freaking GPT. Go GPT Mini, though.
We're balling right now, people.
Oh, I didn't turn it over, but it did set it to a beautiful sunset.
Yeah, I see sunset.
Oh, it's really long, too. Nice. So I could now say, set the prompt to dark and stormy. And it's not automatically listening, but I could turn this on. Should be able to hit that. And now, yeah. So now I've got an LLM set in my StreamDiffusion prompt right there. Like I said, that's literally just using a node that adds a message and the agent, but it's a nice little demo. I'm glad it worked too.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, I guess one of the main things that like started my exploration with the LOP stuff was I realized at one point, probably right before falling asleep, and this prevented me from falling asleep that night initially, but I was just like, oh, sick. I could take like a table, which TouchDesigner has this amazing operator class called DATs, or data operators, or data tables. I don't really know what the T stands for. I just think it's just data. But these are all text and table. So you can build all sorts of stuff. You can put Python code. You can put Java code. Anything in the text stuff and run that. Every one of my operators is all pretty much run from a Python class.
Oh, okay.
That is like the bare bones of the operator and holds pretty much all the logic. And same thing with StreamDiffusion. There's a bunch of nodes in here. The main class is this. This is like the class for the shared memory thing, which is communicating the images in and out via shared memory. Of course,
make
it's
it
flipped
faster
because of your tensors. Yeah, it's faster than I had NDI and Spout running on my first release, but there's a little bit of delay with that because that does the CPU GPU copying behind some
you're just passing it from memory to memory, right?
Other Python thing, and it's still going CPU to GPU or GPU to CPU to GPU, but it is it's much faster because I've scripted that myself. I am trying to work on Mac, or I have Mac working, but the shared memory doesn't work on Mac. So I need to either insert NDI back in or come up with some sort of other solution for Mac users. But my next release for StreamDiffusion, which should be coming out real soon, has like embedding support and also a ton of stuff in the installation that like just makes it way easier to like install and run StreamDiffusion. There's just three buttons that you have to click pretty much, as long as you have Python and CUDA on your computer. But one downloads and clones it, one creates the virtual environment and installs all the Python stuff, and then one installs all the Python stuff that you need for TensorRT, because you don't need that all the time. It kind of limits some of the things you can do with my operator. Like V2V is like that frame coherency thing, and it's actually basically altering the attention processor in real time, and that's how it's smoothing out the frames.
Oh wow.
So you're not really able to compile that. And the developer of V2V basically said TensorRT is not possible, and I trust him more than me just looking at his code. So, and then ControlNet, in theory, I would be able to get that working, but for every single ControlNet model, you're going to have to compile a TensorRT engine.
Right.
I'm sure I'll probably get that working. That has been requested for a little bit, but some of those other things without TensorRT, just think a little bit of loss in speed, but for the increase that you get in clarity, it's kind of worth it. But solo dev, I can't do everything.
But plus, like getting the frames in getting the diffused frames is one thing, but then you can add post-processing effects after that are running at like 30 or 60 frames per second. So there are workarounds to the slowness, quote unquote.
My project, probably because I have all of these operators visible, is running at like 30 FPS. It's also probably the screen grab is taking like 5 milliseconds, 2 milliseconds, and then bumps up to like 5, average of 2 of the GPU. But there's a bunch of things in this project that are taking up memory, running at like 30 FPS. But if I turn off the display and then just turn the display on StreamDiffusion, oh, never mind. It's still dropping
it's
the
probably
frames.
something else grabbing.
Yeah, no, it's the shared memory execution.
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's a little expensive, but another thing that I'm definitely have on my radar to fix and smooth out. But yeah, kind of started this, but the data operators, I realized that I could pump or put your chat, which is how all the LLMs are now trained with like the reinforcement learning with human feedback within that like chat format where you are almost serving the user or quote unquote assisting them.
Yeah.
But all of these models are like subservient, like pleasers of the human or the user in this case. So I've taken that and baked the conversations into a table format. And then one of the vital things in Touch is this idea, oh, I've even got stuff over here. I don't even know what that is. Nice. One of the vital things in Touch is this idea of feedback.
Yeah.
Which if I can do something super quick. Just throw in a little noise. I'm just going to demonstrate like a different type of feedback. But we plug this in. You'll notice this isn't moving. Add a little expression here. The classic abs times
I know
dot
that
seconds.
one. I just learned
Oh yeah, it's the best. It's the best. And that basically moves. It's according to the second since your project opened. So it's actually a little risky if you leave if you were to leave your project running for months, it'll actually slow down because those float values get too big. Once they get past a 32-bit float, your computer starts hating you.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
But you could do like. Another trick would be what? Oh no, meetup. Oh Jesus, it's been too long. I don't need to do this. Come on, I'm not coming up with anything else.
That's okay.
Yeah,
just restart your TouchDesigner every now and then, people. I
basically the entire day, for context, have been flying.
Yeah,
I just got back from Florida, sunny land of Florida, and I'm now back in chilly Brooklyn. So, not too sad about being back in Brooklyn, but getting out of that airport, I was like, oh, Jesus,
yeah,
here we are. I'm just going to take a little comp, and then we'll add a null here. A null is just like nothing, just a placeholder of the data that you can reference. And then we'll comp these noises together with add. And then if you throw this, or the feedback, I've selected this null. So these two are now making a bit of a loop, which you can see by this like dotted line, which shows the straight lines are node connections. The dotted line is like when data is being sent from one to the other.
Okay.
And now I plug in the comp, and with the feedback, it just brings it to white as pretty much you're just adding that frame to the last frame and going up.
Right.
And I can reset this, and you see that effect kind of dissipating.
So
I can
all
also
the noise is eventually filling the screen because it's hitting all the.
If I take a level and just do a little opacity down, it's not really the best. Let me take my exponent down or something. Greater period. The noise isn't the best demonstration of this, but you can see before and after, you're almost getting like this little, we're also at a terrible resolution. Let's just up that.
For all the old people, this is like when you would point a camcorder at a television.
Yes. You're basically getting that every frame, it tries to hold on a little bit of that last frame's image. And then, I can further demonstrate a little bit of TD magic. I now have this feedback loop, the simplest feedback loop in the book, but collapse selected, customize component, and then move in here, and then that level, which is pretty much the only parameter I moved. I'm going to expose that opacity, and now I've just got a little smoothing effect. So if I put this down to 0, it's exactly the same. If I put it to 1, it fully fills up the screen. Actually, if I change my comp mode to screen, it'll be a little bit smoother. And then I can kind of art direct and dial in how much I want that smoothing to happen.
That's really cool. Like a full.
And if we were to bring it all the way over to StreamDiffusion. Let's get the prompt travel back in. Set prompt blocks. And yeah, that takes over. And then, yeah, really you would want to do over. Yeah, over mode's best. So over with the opacity of 1 locks the image. Opacity of 0 is exactly the input.
Whoa.
And then you get a little bit, and you actually get like a little bit of frame interpolation. I have V2V on.
Nice and smooth.
Yeah, let's get it even a little bit more. And it's a little blurry, but that's another way that you could then start post-processing at a higher frame rate. So now this one on the right smooths it out, but I'm not doing anything within the diffusion model. This is all external.
Super cool.
And then you can call this feedback, even though, yeah. And then put it in your palette, and you have it forever. And yeah, that's StreamDiffusion. I mean, there's a bunch that you can play with, but probably not going to go too crazy with that. Oh, I got some FPS back because I turned off ControlNet. Ooh, bug report. Let me write myself a note. ControlNet. Shared mem. Turn it on when it can't be used. Sweet.
Peter Marks just asked, when you have a moment, can you describe
What's up,
your
Peter?
vision for Datalab NYC? First few live streams have been very inspirational.
Ooh. Yeah, that's been a super, super fun thing that's kind of coalesced over the second half of this year. In August, there was one of the first big TouchDesigner meetups in New York for probably in 2.5 years. And it was hosted at Volvox Labs, which is a creative studio run by a bunch of awesome people in New York. And some of the team of Derivative was there. Some other people flew in from California. And it was just this awesome time. It's a 12-hour, 14-hour long day thing. And then everyone was basically why aren't we doing this more? What the heck? Everyone here is so into this. The New York community is so huge. And then my buddy Torin and Torin is another amazing TouchDesigner creator that you should definitely follow. I can pull up his Patreon as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because now we're little collaborators. I can plug him. I mean, I'll plug everyone that I know on Patreon. But our boy Torin over here has released a bunch of stuff fully open sourced, and a bunch of stuff on his Patreon that you have to sign up for. But he's got this teachable machine plugin, which is really cool. I haven't even tried that out too much, but cool. It uses a simple computer vision model where you can basically if you hold up your phone and then hold up your glasses, you could just train a model that would identify if you're holding up a phone or glasses, but it's local to the data set that you give the model, which is really
so we
cool.
can do hot dog, not hot dog?
Oh, easy. Just gotta basically and you train it with your webcam. It's cool.
That is really cool.
The big one of the bigger things that he's released is this media pipe integration for TouchDesigner, which I would also say if you're getting into TouchDesigner, this is hands down probably the best tool for you to start messing with.
Hands down, yeah, I get it.
Oh yeah, media pipe. It can do a little tracking there.
Yeah, you guys in the chat have probably seen Kat, the poet engineer, what she's been doing lately with the media pipe stuff in her hands, and oh my god.
And yeah, basically, I think you get hand tracking, face tracking, body tracking. Oh yeah, face tracking, hand tracking, pose tracking, object tracking, face detector. There's also some image segmentation as well that I think was added after the screenshot. And it's great. Also, another one of the key contributors is this guy, Dom Scott, who I haven't met, but hopefully we'll meet soon. Dom, if you hear this, come to New York. And yeah,
get to New York, Dom. Get to New York.
Torin and I were both at this meetup, and we've kind of talked about like doing like collaborating on something, doing something together in the past, like maybe some code tutorials or releasing a tool together. But we were kind of like, oh, maybe we should just start doing some meetups, regular meetups, monthly meetups, and do a kind of a mini version of what happened at Volvox and what everyone really, really liked and had a lot of fun at. So 2.5 weeks later, we hosted the first Datalab NYC,
Beauty.
which like I think 100 people signed up to come to in like a couple days, and we sold out what we like estimated this venue that was like a 10-minute walk from my house, and volunteered their space for the first time or for the first meetup. And we're like, hey, yeah, let's like try this out. Let's see how the community is feeling about this. And it was awesome. The first one wasn't live streamed. It was like 12 quote unquote 5-minute presentations that turned into like 5-minute presentations, and everyone like set up time in a little bit. I don't need to talk about how it was not super smooth, but
goes,
first time it was as good as it could be basically, but everyone was just like, oh sweet, when's the next one? And we were like, all right, cool, let's start doing a monthly. But yeah, to answer your question in TLDR, I guess, we're Datalab NYC, we're trying to do monthly meetups in New York for TouchDesigner, and maybe expanding to other node-based or procedural processes as well. But definitely focused on touch as now, and then also possibly some paid workshops or some like maybe like a mini generative festival or something in the spring or summer. No promises on that, but
you heard it here, folks. It's definitely happening.
And the dates are April. No, we haven't even. Yeah, definitely haven't discussed dates, but hopefully trying to do some like beginner or intermediate, maybe even advanced sometime, but like in-person TouchDesigner workshops in New York, which I think would be really fun. And then no clue on time estimate for that, but we're going to be doing monthly meetups that are free to everyone. And we also we've been doing 3 to 6 presenters each time, talking like 10-15 minutes or so, and ending with an AV performance. And then the whole thing is live streamed as well. And then for the people that show up in person, there's like a chunk of social time at the beginning and at the end for like networking and stuff. And it's at Chemistry Creative, which is awesome studio that's in like East Williamsburg, Bushwick area. And it's really close to my old apartment that I just moved away from. Now I have to like bike to the meetup, but it's with like this awesome
with your desktop PC.
Yeah, no, they have a media server there for us to use, luckily. But it's got like a big cyclorama wall in the presentation room, and we've got chairs set up so people can grab a drink, listen to some awesome creators from the city, talk about TouchDesigner, and show off. Yeah, we've had people show off like total work in progress projects. We've had people show off something they did 4 years ago and just opened up for this presentation. We've had people like just talk about their practice and their work in general, which honestly has been some of the more inspirational stuff, because like these are people that I've followed on social media for like 2-3 years, maybe 4 years now, and they've been like super inspiring for me to learn this stuff. But yeah, it's an honor to be able to like be at a spot where I'm inviting people in and like giving them a stage to present their work and present it in front of the community. And yeah, we have a bunch of people that represent a bunch of creative studios in New York that have come through, and then also a bunch of beginners, and then everyone in between. It's been super nice.
Well, that's what I was going to say, but even just the Comfy meetups, like even if you're a beginner or you're just thinking about getting into Touch or you're getting into Comfy, whatever, go to the meetup and just hang out and meet people, because the enthusiasm will inspire you beyond anything else. Just just watching nerds nerd, like it will awaken something in you to go deeper into it. So like these events, even if you feel like you don't quote unquote belong there, you absolutely do. If you want to go and you want to be part of it, go. Don't feel like there's a skill floor, it's preventing you from going because you might not be good at it yet. Like just go and listen to the people talk about their process, meet some people, make some friends, because like these communities are tiny, but they're very inspiring to be around. So I would say, like, even if you're not in New York, if you're close, go down and check it out. Just follow Dot and pay attention to when the next one is. Because like, even if you're thinking about getting into TouchDesigner, just seeing what's possible might break down some walls in your head that were previously there. And yeah, definitely like meeting other people that are enthusiastic about this kind of stuff is just, it's something else. It's a really, really cool thing. And with the way, we are now with our global communication and our internet and our isolated talking heads in a Discord type thing, it's really nice to just get in a room with a bunch of really enthusiastic people and nerd out for a day or two or whatever. So, yeah, I would say definitely check it out.
Yeah, go there, soak it in. Like, even if you don't feel like you're going to learn something, you're going to hear like 2 terms that you're going to be like, what is that? And then you can look that up later. And that's probably a like awesome rabbit hole to fall into. Sometimes it's even hard to find the new thing or the old thing or the standard thing that people are talking about and using in the field.
Yeah.
That in-person guidance is, or not guidance, but just like, soaking in the inspiration. It's huge.
Yeah. Like Dot and I, we met in LA last year now, almost? No, it is last year now.
Yeah, last year as of yesterday. Yeah, a couple days ago. Happy New Year.
But yeah, I mean, just watching, because I talked to Dot a few times on a couple Discords, and he had explained what he was doing with real-time stuff, and then we're just sitting there in the room, and he pulls out his laptop and starts showing me real-time control net, and my brain just went pop, like it's just like. Like all the potential things just started happening. So like that's what I mean by just like meeting people and catching the enthusiasm wave. It's a crazy experience. Highly recommend.
Yeah, that was May. Yeah
back in May.
that was super fun. It feels like it feels like a year ago. This year's been long. I was talking to just someone in my family. They're like, oh my god, the year's flown by. I was like, no, it hasn't. It's been a long year for me.
I've been busy. I don't know about you, but I've been busy.
But I would say the fall kind of flew by.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just like, it just happened. So I'm not thinking about it yet. I haven't reflected. But yeah, that Comfy conference was great. It was so cool to hear, because I'm not even like fully in specifically the Comfy world, but there was 4 things or something that I was definitely looking up afterwards. I think it was the Salt AI language nodes, which may or may not be discontinued or depreciated or not supported at all.
Yeah, they I believe they pivoted as a company a few months ago, so I don't think any of that stuff will be maintained much anymore, unfortunately.
Another tough side of the open source ecosystem. And if you see a big company rallying and putting a bunch of stuff out for the community, take it with a grain of salt. I don't know. There's a lot of great developers and stuff, but honestly, some of the best stuff, other than, Comfy.org has been doing some pretty awesome stuff, and I'm really glad that they brought that together. But some of the best stuff that I've seen, it's pretty much only made by one guy, Gijai. But and Gijai,
Kasinkadink, Joey X, who's here,
Matt,
and Comfy himself,
IP Adapter, Comfy,
Mateo, and just these people work their ass off for next to nothing for our benefit. So give them some love on GitHub. Give them some love on if they got a tip jar somewhere. They got a Ko-Fi. If they got a Patreon, just like
well, buy him a coffee. Yeah, buy him a coffee. Maybe 2.
And like Kajai, that guy wraps everything the day it comes out. So if some new thing comes out for AI and it's possible to run in Comfy and it runs on diffusers, there's a good chance Kajai will have a wrapper out within several hours. That's pretty cool.
No pressure. Like, we love you. Keep doing what you do, but it is.
Peter asked if you could show off. Peter asked if you could show off your Art Basel stuff.
Yes,
Do you
maybe.
have that?
I haven't done the full make the archive stuff yet.
Okay.
Let me see what I got. I
But
do have
I believe you guys
some
were shooting
versions of
lasers at a
something.
wall or something.
Yes, we were. Yeah, Spencer brought his laser tech. We rented a big boy laser for that.
That's Sir Spencer Sterling, previous guest of the show. We made custom nodes together on the stream, you may remember. Spencer is a fantastic laser person as well. Among many talents. He's really drilled down into laser stuff least recently, and yeah, he's built some tech that didn't exist before, which is really cool. I always love it when people do that.
Yeah. He's a legend, definitely. On one of those guys that the way he combines like 6 different creative programs, or even maybe not, it's like Notch, Ableton, and Touch, but then he uses 5 different Touch projects running at the same time, all talking to each other, working on different processes, because Touch is fully single-threaded, so you can use multiple to kind of work on different things. I'm trying to open one Art Basel thing. Yeah, cool. Linking his thing. I linked the Datalab stuff, but I don't know why it didn't create a hyperlink.
Oh,
you guys can
I can
copy and paste that.
Yeah, I'll just make it happen. There we go. It's because of the security thing. Only the host can post links. That's all.
Solid. So this is a cool piece that I made for Art Basel that I actually made finally at the last day. But it is pretty much taking all of the artists that were featured there and all of the artists that had screens on the TVs. There was like a digital art display for one corner. The event that I was in was kind of like in the middle of a music festival in a big warehouse. And then there was like 5 different rooms for you to walk through, and each had like a big AV installation. And then the final room had a 70-foot wide, 14-foot tall, it might have been like 55 feet wide, but a giant LED screen. That's what I was working on, and then 4 other buddies who are amazing TouchDesigner developers as well, and artists, and also like a bunch of art on TV screens. And so I took all of the art that was presented into the event and ran a bunch of Python code and embedded it down into 3D vector embeddings. So I'm actually getting like the relationship I used Clip to interrogate like a bunch of screenshots from every artist work. And then I actually made a tool here, which maybe it'll become some sort of LOP at some point, which will probably be like a UMAP/PCA, or some sort of like embedding reduction or dimension reduction operator. But with this, I can, I guess this is all just, this is a little hard coded to this actual data, but this generates the coordinates in 3D space, and then haven't looked at this in months or weeks.
Oh wow!
It's actually rotating in 3D with the clouds, and I'm adding a little bit of noise. Let me take the noise away. Where's that going? Where's that? Here. Yeah. So now this is just basically rotating in 3D space. I can also take the rotation away. Point transform. Cool. So this is just the raw vector embedding cloud. I can take this and show the, like, this ties it all together based on distance.
Oh wow.
But somewhere in here, this must not be the right project, but there also was the artwork tied to each of these artists.
Oh, okay.
And as people waved their hand in front of the screen, which was set up with 2 LiDAR sensors, which basically made like about a foot away from the screen to the actual screen surface itself, a full touch screen like thing.
Oh, cool.
And then where people waved their hands over the artist, it showed a screenshot of their work. So there's like 40 people at a time just like basically hitting this LED wall and trying to check out the artist. But it was funny. One of the other touch designer guys, who his work is in here somewhere, came up and was like, why am I next to the other generative art up there? Did you like organize this? And I was like, oh really, you noticed that? Like, that's so cool. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's not just random.
It's like it's an embedding reduction. He's like, oh, that's cool. What's that?
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's so cool.
You can see, yeah, if you know any of these artists and you happen to know two of them and they're together, something within the art that they presented, because I didn't like scrape their whole body of work or something, but something within the work that they presented for the event that we were at had like a little bit of relation. And yeah, this was a really fun piece that I threw together on the last day and put it up on the wall. It was kind of a final little treat. I had 3 others that
you could even say you were letting people touch designers.
Ooh, I could. I was.
You shouldn't, because it's very dumb. But
yeah, the touching of the designers, I don't think that's what the name came from. Originally, I think it was because it was maybe like 2000. I don't remember the exact date, but between 2001 and 2004, I think, was when it was thought of. But they were thinking about touchscreens and really just like being hands-on with the visual art and like moving a dial or like a slider with your finger instead of like writing a bunch of code. And so just that was one of the earliest ideas that the whole program has evolved quite a lot.
It was this incredible thing.
Oh, that's fast. And then I think I might have some other.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I need to do the whole recap post of this because I had 4 pretty awesome pieces that I was pretty proud of. And we're also on such a big screen, and we got some pretty decent video of like a ton of people interacting with it. So
that's great. I saw a bunch of Lake's
on
work
my
as
Instagram.
Well.
Oh my god, yeah, Lake stuff is crazy.
Yeah,
Lake Heckerman. I said that like I was asking a question, but I know exactly who this guy is.
Yeah. I can grab his Instagram here and pop it in the chat.
Oh, he's already... I'll just pull up his website. I think he's already posted Art Basel footage with Spencer's lasers.
Yeah.
Look at this stuff. Oh my goodness gracious.
That's the wall right there, and that's Spence shooting lasers at it.
So this is the wall at Art Basel, and then the top 3 feet of the wall was like several feet above people's heads. We had as like a dedicated laser interactive zone, and then also people were like, yeah. So you can see the touchscreen interaction there. Then you can also see the lasers are they're also touching the wall.
People shooting fireballs, Hadokening all over the place.
Yeah, it's great. There's another one by Lake. He's just got such good documentation. I always tell him, I'm like, I love your work, but also just like the way that he presents himself very professionally. Right. I look up to it, aspire to be that way. 2025, New Year's resolution. We'll see.
Yeah. No, it's important because, you make all this cool stuff and then it just disappears if you don't document it properly. Just become these ephemeral experiences that people had, but it's good to write it all down, man.
Yeah. Good to have good project structure as well, because these projects can evolve and grow and get crazy. I know that there's one of the pieces at Art Basel that I don't think I saved the actual talks while I was like working on it at Art Basel. Yeah, it is what it is. But I prepped all the stuff on my computer as well, and then loaded it on that PC and then did tweaking. But all that tweaking was for that environment that we were working in. So losing that is kind of par for the course almost. I definitely could have saved all my talks though right at the very end. I might have. But yeah. I haven't actually checked my thumb drive since the event.
Plus, events are events. You gotta be present and around, and your head has to be in the event.
No, it was in the middle of a music festival, so it was quite fun. And by the end of it, it was like 8 a.m., tired. The sun was out, blazing. I was like, I think I have everything. Peaced out of there.
I don't care anymore.
Yeah. But that's where you got to actually be careful, because then that's when you forget to like document. I've done events where I forgot to document anything, and I'm just like, oh, this went so well. And then like 2 days later, I was like, I remember that going so well. There's no proof of it.
I hope somebody shot some footage on their phone or something.
Yeah, I hope someone tags me or like something. But
it's like doing gigs before smartphones, like I was a drummer for years and years and years, and there's like no footage of it, because unless somebody brought a video camera, it's like it's not getting captured. It's kind of nice now. Everyone has a full production studio in their pocket.
Yeah, everyone's got the 4K. The iPhones take better videos than a lot of nice cameras, because you don't have to set them up. You don't have to do all the exposure stuff. So most people are going to get better footage out of their iPhone than even if you handed someone like a big camera with a gimbal.
Yeah.
But we had 2 cameras on gimbals, or 1 camera on a gimbal, 1 on like a nice tripod. And we got some pretty good documentation. Art Basel was super fun. It was a good way for me to push a little bit and make some like actual artwork, because I get lost in the weeds or not lost in the weeds, but I enjoy exploring the weeds, I guess you could say, with the development side of things. And then, one thing that I think PERS might also be doing this month is Genuary, which is like a daily generative art. I guess it's not a contest. I don't know.
It's a challenge.
Challenge. But there's a prompt
it's a challenge,
for every
but
day.
It's not a burn yourself out challenge. It's challenge yourself to try some stuff you wouldn't normally try. And what is it? January is an artificial generated month of time where we build code that makes beautiful things. So every day there is a prompt in January, and you just make something and post about it. I've done the first 2. I'm gonna start the 3rd one tonight after midnight. I like to do them that night, like the night of, like after midnight, start hacking.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
See what I come up with and sort of tweak it in the morning and then get it out right away. Otherwise, I'm a leave it to the last minute kind of guy. Otherwise, so it's good. It's good to do your homework right when you get home, kind of thing for me.
I'm gonna leave it to the last minute and then I'll tweak it.
Yeah.
The next day, but the last minute is I did the first day today at the airport, which is already on day 2. So if I keep that up and try to do every day, I'm definitely going to be behind. But I might try to make something for every day. I won't be posting all of them, I don't think. Maybe I'll throw something on my story or something. Little
you don't have to
experiments.
finish either. That's the thing. You don't have to make a fully featured finished product and have it on GitHub and have all the code available and all that stuff. You can just make some art that's generative. And honestly, they don't have if you look at the homepage, there's no stipulation on what that means exactly. They're not hard, there aren't hard rules. You don't have to use specific software. It's just, the spirit of generative art, the spirit of making systems that create art, whatever that is. So don't feel like, oh, I don't know how to code. That's okay. Ask Claude, ask GPT. This is a really great time for generative coding, because a lot of this stuff you had to know or learn or talk to somebody who knows how to do it. But now, a function, if you don't know what it is or how to do it, you can ask Claude, you can ask GPT, and they can help you just kind of flesh out your ideas. It doesn't have to be GPT writing your whole program for you, but you can absolutely be like, if I wanted to do this, how would you approach it? And it'll generally give you a really good framework on how to continue. So you don't necessarily have to go use someone else's code or do all that stuff, even though technically, I guess we are using other people's code when we use GPT, but it's you know, it is what it is. It's
that can be another stream.
Yeah.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, for real.
No, I mean, I feel like I love the AI stuff, but I also have a certain thoughts on the usage of art, and I think a lot of it kind of rightfully falls under the idea of fair use.
Yeah.
And especially fair use through experimentation. Like if you're just like playing around with stuff and seeing what's possible, that's like I think one of the best ways to use this model or use these models. But yeah, the
implication
of that stuff is
a piece of work, and writing your own on it is not cool.
Mm-hmm. And but, the AI stuff is trained on the whole internet, but the whole internet doesn't have all of the information that like very high level professionals have. A lot of proprietary data is like on people's personal hard drives or like studio pipeline stuff, like specifically with like creative work and like really working with some of these creative programs. So the the code or the process that it might have looked at might only be one tutorial, and it might be like, oh, I know how to do that. And the LLMs do have a tendency to regurgitate and memorize instead of just like extrapolate from the data.
Absolute confidence too.
Yeah, and if you ask where it got that from, it'll probably be like, I am an assistant. Like, ask me the next question. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, it won't say that, but like, yeah. This is the Genuary FAQ, like we were saying. That's kind of funny. Do I need to follow these? No. Do I need to post every day? No. Do I need the correct prompt? No. Does it need to be X? Just anything? No.
Can I? Yeah, probably.
Can I use the code that I previously wrote? Yes.
Do I have to make it?
Is it true about the Genuary police? No. Oh, that's funny. There's rumors, I guess. The code is copyrighted. Nice.
Yeah, that was for the thing at the top.
Can't steal this. Yeah.
He's like, you can look at it though and learn how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the first thing that I did is like the horizontal or vertical lines for the prompt day one, but I definitely pulled out like something that I used on like some old gig that was like slightly audio reactive, and I was like, let me push these parameters. Let's pull it out. Maybe find a song or something. I still need to find a song to like output it to, but yeah, maybe I'll post that. Yeah, we'll see when I post that. Probably tomorrow. I'm gonna be tired after this. Been traveling today.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna drop my project in the chat there. I did the day 1 and day 2 so far. I don't know if I'll keep it up every single day because some of them look honestly terrifying. Like the building your own collision system. Like, no thanks.
Yeah. That's like,
but more power to anybody who can, you know what I mean?
Are we doing that? Like, it's like, yeah.
I mean, maybe with Claude.
No libraries allowed.
No thanks.
Hell yeah. So, can I use Python?
Is that a programming language, a library? How does that work?
That's just an extrapolate? That's just a layer on top of the C++ code you're running. No. But
some of the prompts do look really fun. You know, what does wind look like?
One of them was one more time.
One of them was OP art, which is optical illusion art. That'll be a fun one to see. I can't wait to see what all the big brains do with that. And that's the other thing. This is a great way to find generative artists that normally keep pretty mum about what they do. Like you'll find a lot of these people are not secretive, but they're not flashy. They don't brag about the work they do all the time. So this is a really good way to start following them on Twitter and following them on Instagram and stuff, and checking out work by people whose brains work differently than others, you know?
Yeah, this guy's a awesome touch designer, like powerhouse dude as well. Got a bunch of super cool work, but I guess he's the one that came up with the collision detection system. No libraries allowed, of course.
What a jerk.
But like, what does wind look like?
I like that one.
That's great.
What happens if pi equals 4?
Design a rug. Oh, pi equals. That's crazy. That's fun. I think the one that I loved last year, I didn't participate last year, but I observed and like had a lot of fun just like looking at it, which is also another way you can spend January.
Yeah.
Just like absorbing all of the awesome art that you'll see on your feed or follow the people like Pers was saying. But I think it was, I forget what day, but it was debug view. So everyone was like showing like data visi stuff on the art or like a screenshot of the screenshot of just what they're working on. And that's always fun. I really like, I mean, it's super nerdy, but I really like work that is like about the program, or not about, but involves like the program that it's working with.
Yeah.
Because it's just fun.
Yeah, and plus, you know, those parameters, exposing those things gives you another thing for your project. So like it's like all this stuff's already happening. You're already tracking all this data. You're already doing all this stuff. So it's kind of nice to just expose it and use it as part of the piece itself. Yeah, I find Spence does that a lot with his when he's doing glitchy stuff. He'll add like elements of the UI to the glitch and stuff like that, and it's right there. I mean, you might as well use it, and it's brilliant. It works great.
It adds a lot. I wouldn't say maybe, like anything. Gotta not use it for everything, but it is really cool.
Right on.
Trying to think, what? Not sure if any of the other Art Basel projects make too much sense to show. If I just had videos of them, I'm also not logged in on my Instagram on this computer, so it's not letting me see anything. I'm
going to be adding all your socials to the description below in the video, so by the time this airs, if you want to follow Dot, you should absolutely click all the links, follow him everywhere, and you'll have videos up soon enough, I'm sure. And yeah, you were saying you're probably going to start a live stream, so pay attention for that, because that'll be incredibly informative.
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure. Maybe have some guests, maybe do something. I want to do, I don't need to tease this either, but I also want to do maybe some sort of like 2-person tutorial content thing. Probably eventually at some point with Pers, but kind of like one person is teaching another creator. So there's like kind of like the teacher and the student.
I love that.
But I really like the idea of a tutorial where you see the person learning about the task as well. Feel like there could be some, a little more accessible for the viewer, and then that idea could expand and get super fun. And maybe not fully live stream, maybe edit it down for like actual content as well, and try to make it really fun to watch. But not that live streams aren't fun to watch, but No,
but that'd be cool because you can figure out all the question
brain
points and things. But it just also, just knowing from my streams, 2-3 hours sometimes, it's a lot to sit through. So having at least a condensed version as well is a really cool way to do it too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and beyond just like clips channels, which I feel like are good to like bring you in, but then if it's like, oh cool, you have a 5-minute clip and a 2-hour podcast, I'm like, where's this in between land that could be really fun for everybody? Yeah,
like what a professional podcast gets edited down to.
True. Maybe I just need to do the professional podcast, but
screw that.
No, that's too far.
So much work. Plus, then you have to start having comedy guests on, and oh my god.
Yeah, it's got to be funny. What? It can be funny about just like really small, dry, nerdy jokes about TouchDesigner, or like you don't even realize that it's funny, but then you're like, oh, haha.
After you guys are 7 years deep into TouchDesigner, you'll get this joke.
Exactly.
Azariah says, appreciate the work you do to release StreamDiffusion for TouchDesigner. You're the real rock star.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's nice.
Yeah, I've got. Yeah, the LOPs are not out, but I hope to get those out there soon. If anyone wants to message me and get a little early access mess around tester alpha thing, I've got a link with a Dropbox that I could share with you. Then there's like a little, I guess, a tester license or whatever and stuff. But be nice if you do that to give if you do play with it to give a little feedback would be super sick, because it is tough to figure out how people are going to use it. I'm confident that I'm not going to come up with all the workflows for other artists, and it's been so nice to see just how people are using StreamDiffusion. But StreamDiffusion is kind of a little narrow in what it can do. Like it's powerful, but it is real-time stable diffusion. I've exposed all the parameters probably possible, and you can run that in all sorts of installations. But something like, yeah, which I never finished that thought, but the idea of feedback, where you can create a feedback on the same conversation. So you could create the feedback LOP, which would then take this first agent output is the conversation, which the agent was just setting the prompt here, so they didn't actually respond. But if I turn off tools and just have the agent run, it's going to be like, I'm sorry, I can't. Oh, it didn't say anything.
You are a helpful assistant.
Set the prompt to dark and stormy. Interesting. It's not going. Of course, the simple live demo doesn't work.
Yeah, that's how it always goes.
Also, I just hit Q 3 times without changing any parameters, as if that's going to help.
I do that all the time.
But let's just grab a new agent. Didn't need to delete that, but bring that in. Model. Which one? Let's go. Oh, sure, this one. And now this guy runs. Takes a while because I didn't pick a Nitro model.
Yeah, some of these models are slower than others for sure.
And it says, to set your terminal prompt to dark and stormy, you'll need to customize your shell prompt settings. Here's an example. Oh, it's because it also wrote a really long message. Let's just have it. Hey. Hello, how can I assist you today? And then I can take this null, which we'll just call convo. Oh, I can type convo end with an R in there.
And
then drag this into the target dat. And now this brings the conversation over here. And we could plug this into add message. And now user says, hey, again, but let's change it up. What is like 2 plus 15? Because I need the AI to help me with that. It says the sum of 2 plus 15 is 17. And then I can, in this loop, I can say, nope.
Incorrect.
And it's, I apologize. That is the correct sum. And yeah, it's doing assistant stuff if you have any questions. And I'll say, nope. Again, you are wrong.
Don't be mean to the AI.
I'm not. I'm just, this is,
I understand that you might be confused. I assure you, I am a computer. I can do math.
Drag this one out, which makes it a little more readable.
That's so funny.
I don't have a null there. I have a null here.
It's like, listen, human.
This is a basic
you do
arithmetic
human stuff. I'll do math.
And then I can like, might be, I was reading it wrong. And then I could have this call on table change. But when you are in a feedback loop like this,
you'll start reading credits like crazy, right?
It's a little risky. Yeah, here, I'll change it. Let's go over to Grok, because Grok is going to be, do they have the 7B Gemma model? No.
Error.
I need to update my model list. Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
11 3.2 text preview. I actually don't know why.
Wonder if you could make that a button.
Why aren't the models select grok models?
Who even made these nodes?
Oh, I don't know. Some crazy guy. I'll do a little bit of this action. Update your models. Oh. Sick. Bug report. Grok models do not update. Why? I just need a little bit so that I remember what it is.
I'm going to start formatting my GitHub issues like that.
Yeah, that's great. People love that. If you do that to them.
Why not work right now? Me need work.
These Nitro models in OpenRouter are usually free. And I think some of them are even just wrappers of these three might be wrappers of Grok, which are funny. But this guy's super fast. Just says none. Okay, maybe this one doesn't work. Not Toppy. Let's go Mistral. Yeah.
Hey.
Add a little question or a smiley face and reset pulse. And it said, oh, I was reading wrong. Now we can just do this. And it's just going to continuously respond to I was reading it wrong.
It's just adding more and more smiles.
And it now hit the token limit, so we'll give it a little bit of room to really go crazy. Let's see how many smileys you're going to give me. Oh, there we go. That's a lot of smileys.
I wonder if you just max it out, if it would just give you not like infinite smileys back. It's extremely happy.
It would. It definitely would. And then it'd be like,
this is the creepy side of AI where, I don't know if you guys have seen that picture where it's, a giant multi-headed demonic alien beast with a tiny little happy face on the front of it. It's like, that's what we're talking to, is the little face. But AI itself is just this nebulous hydra.
Just format everything as if you're asking ChatBeat. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly, Taz.
And I guess similar to like the StreamDiffusion stuff, this is kind of like this agent is almost one take on working with an LLM within Touch, within these LOPs. But like you can edit the system message, like you can say respond in wacky.
Yeah, you are an
emojis.
Unhelpful assistant.
Reset my feedback. Hopefully it responds in wacky emojis. Oh, responded with some wacky emojis. But yeah.
Invent an emoji language and respond only in that.
Ooh. Yeah, create some Unicode characters, please. Oh, that would be... Create a new set of Unicode. It can't do this because it's just generating tokens, but characters that are a never before seen emoji font type.
Respond with that.
Only respond to the user with that language. You cannot use standard Unicode / normal words. Only the new emoji. Yeah, that's too much. But system message like that.
Oh.
Hopefully it just says it can't do that.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Interesting. It mirrored a growing tree.
That's really neat. It's like that meme language from that the aliens on Star Trek, the ones that only speak in memes. Get their name. Damn.
I don't know Which one is that from?
It's from
Which Star Trek?
TNG. It's from TNG. Picard gets beamed down to this planet, and there's an alien there that only speaks in metaphor, like stories, like memes, literally. And he has to figure out what he's. They have to figure out a common language, and he gets it at the very end. But yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I've seen but that's the only Star Trek that I've really seen, but can't say I know that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Here's 10 new emojis, which
a shimmering star.
It does look like there's this weird
double
thing.
Shimmering star. It's really into shimmering stuff.
What?
Right?
What is? Oh yeah, that's just a star emoji. I was not sure because in the DATs the emojis are split in black and white, unfortunately. But if you copy that, it just works.
That's super
Quintuple shimmering star. Yeah. Quadruple. Oh my god.
That presents 5 stars that shimmer and glow.
It's a little on the Why only star? You can do this all day. But this is, I'm just showing like the simplest conversation loop. But you could have this running within your project. You could be inserting information dynamically into this.
The prompt massaging you showed at the beginning is a great example of how this can you can like weave this into what you're working on, because sometimes we get tired of writing prompts.
I've got a role creator, so I can go agent let's facilitate a conversation. So I didn't click that. Agent. And we'll copy and paste this. So now we've got 2 role creators and 2 agents, 1 chat session.
So we got a cop and a criminal.
Oof. All right.
Police officer and bandit.
Cop. It should generate prompt. Oh, it's not working. Oh no.
These nodes are in pre-alpha, everybody. It's fine.
Oh, there we go. Nope. Model. GPT Mini. We're using the old version of GPT Mini. Oh yeah, big bugs. I don't like using GPT, but I know it'll work.
Yeah.
Cool. So active. And now we have Officer Jake, a seasoned cop with a specialization in technical investigations. Right now you're knee deep in analyzing digital evidence. All right, cool. I guess that's a thing. I'm gonna have to delete this.
I'll make the other guy a crypto scammer.
That's good. Crypto scam. And then you are a crypto scammer, a cunning operator in the digital currency world who thrives on exploiting. Oh no, that's maybe not AI alignment safety, but it's a
fair enough. Yeah,
controlled space.
I'm gonna get you banned from GPT.
Ads. Well, I'm not employing this to actually do crypto scamming. This is like
you hear that? You hear that? FBI, we're just playing around here.
I honestly wouldn't know the first place to start with the crypto stuff, let alone scamming crypto. Yeah. Actually,
it would just teach you how to make a phishing scam. Probably
0.1 ETH from like selling an NFT once. It's pretty cool. And then I can do this boy, structured JSON controls. I think this one is just going to whatever models here.
So just enter your seed phrase.
Close this, and we'll go. We'll just do this again. I know it works. GPT Mini. Boro Mini, no. Oh wait, yeah, no. That's right. That's what I've been using. What am I, crazy? And then we can. Oh, actually, each of these agents are just going to use their own model. I don't even know how it's working. So we can have different models talk to each other, which is kind of fun.
That is a cool
But
idea.
let's do Gemini. So, unlock that boy. So this one is going to be Gemini Flash 1.5, which is one of my favorite models because it's just so good at everything. And then this one can be, well, yeah, we'll just do Gemma 29B. Nice. So Gemini and Gemma, and the weaker model is the crypto scammer. That'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I can begin / start session, scammer. And you can see the little animations.
Yeah, I love
as
that.
They're talking. But, well, we've got a potential cyber stalking case, and I'll definitely look into those encryption breaking tools.
Whoa.
Yeah. This is like it's just generating so much data. It's going to be hard to like actually.
That's so
AES
cool.
is a tough nut to crack. Things are progressing nicely on the cyber stalking case. The AES encryption was a real challenge. So yeah, it sounds like these agents started working together. And they started repeating each other. It's a little bit tough, but
that's super cool.
I am on the structured data thing. So, and then I could like extend the session, just go one more round.
We're getting
nice.
JSON.
So you can see a little bit of the back end where I'm actually telling it. I'm giving it the message and telling it that it's this character.
It looks like they both became cops.
Asking it to, yeah, I mean, they're both going to put themselves on like the I guess more justified side.
Yeah,
they're going to. They are pretty aligned, which is definitely a good thing.
I love the idea of just making two agents yell at each other for an hour, though. It's great.
Yeah, I did. I think one of the first things that I tried was like some sort of like political debate.
Oh yeah.
And then the role, even like someone, that's actually what I was honing in this node, because this can go like a little bit. I see a little bit of my prompt magic, but this is the role creator class.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a bunch of different styles for the thing, style templates. But then where is it? Assemble system message. So we're getting the length, the style, the personality, the expertise, and if you're requiring name. And then this is building the prompt that sends to the model. So every time, based on these parameters in the role creator, down here you can use templates. Ooh, that's actually kind of fun. Forgot about this. Oh, wow, I did a lot. So
oh yeah, right on.
These are kind of random, but business guide short. Let's go dramatic. I don't know what type of
dramatic.
cop that's going to make, but
still Officer Jake. Oh no, Officer Valor.
A steadfast guardian of justice and a beacon of clarity in the stormy seas of business complexities. Wonderful. It is a very dramatic way to talk about a cop.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it got guide or business there, but
you were the last line of defense against crypto scammers.
You're the only chance we have. We need you, Valor.
Officer Valor.
But yeah, this has been a fun one to build all these things, and then I'm hoping the main, like the ultimate like next step kind of is to make this a base that is easy to build on top of.
Mm-hmm.
So that's almost why, LOPs not maybe being language ops, but being maybe something else that encompasses more of these just larger models or larger processes. I have a tool called Live Transcribe, which basically is just like a live captioner.
Mm-hmm.
And that is definitely going to become a LOP. I have
that's handy.
Another one for live portrait, which was like, it's pretty awesome, but I've got live portrait running at like 30 FPS or so in touch.
Wicked.
Based on a project that's on GitHub that like compiles the TensorRT, but once you're running it in touch, it's so fast. But that will probably become a LOP, I think.
I remember you showing me the GLSL creator one too, which is really neat.
Oh yeah, that's fun. This one's a bit crazy too. This was probably the only one that like fully makes everything for you. I'm on GPT-4 Mini. This is fun to compare what these guys actually do. Let's what have I projection mapping texture. I'm like out of practice with typing. I've been away from this keyboard for like a week or maybe like 2 weeks now.
It's been dictating everything to your phone.
No, I've just been on my MacBook, so remoting into this machine.
The keys feel different on those for sure.
This isn't gonna work. Maybe. So please provide confident structure. Ooh, you got something.
Yeah, it definitely gave you something.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect projection
animated
mapping
as well.
Yeah.
So it's got inside, it creates the code. It actually holds the code here, and I'm doing something that like, because I had one that like literally crashed my whole computer using this.
Oh, so you make sure it's not too heavy.
It was gathering memory, so I have this like show cook average, and it will fully bypass and kill the shader if it takes over 40 milliseconds.
That's
because
really
like
smart.
generating the code and then instantly applying it, especially with GLSL, is a little. I don't know. I don't know if this will be in the official release because it didn't brick my computer, but it restarted my computer, and I was like,
yeah, it definitely could. Yeah,
what happened?
Definitely could do something not great. Or at least just give it full load, like out of nowhere, which is never.
And that's not like some library, or like I'm not giving a user the choice to like just load a model, and they're like, I know this is crazy, I'm just going to go for it and see what happens, and then maybe something bad happens. This is like something a normal person or someone pulls up LOPs and they're like, oh, cool, let me create like what I was doing was like a dripping rain texture. And for some reason it was like instancing these drips within the shader and then just like total memory leak.
Yeah, like a full simulation in a GLSL.
Yeah, and it wasn't great, but I didn't notice that my VRAM was just going up to 24, and then it went into shared memory, and then it just hit the ceiling. And
why is my laptop on fire?
Yeah, no, it just fully just like froze everything with no response, and I was like, oh, what happened? And then it kept happening to the same project, and I just didn't know what was happening. But it turns out there was just one GLSL creator that was like in there just cooking in the back end. I was like, oh no. So I can take this projection map thing, I can improve it, and it can look at the shader too, because we've got multimodal. And I can say,
oh, I see, send an image of it back.
Not really a projection map. I think there should be lines or stuff. And then improve shader.
These poor AIs, man. We don't deserve them.
Debug. Ooh. Did I flash it? No, I didn't flash the full.
Hey, there's lines now.
Oh, hell yeah. Got lines. And it doesn't have the full conversation of history. It's just like one-shot improvement notes for this.
More
so
lines,
I can't.
Please.
I could say more lines because it'll see those lines. More lines with a bunch of exclamation points. I thought I flashed my API key, but that's just the base 64 of the image.
Looks like an API key.
Yeah, you go for it, guys. Oh, it did thicker noise.
Like a Voronoi underneath, yeah.
I can try this difference level. Let's make it really different. Which is actually, this is changing what's prompted. Still working? Still working. This one will eat up API credits, especially if you use Claude Sonnet, just so you know. Oh, that's a little bit better, a little bit more really interesting.
Cool. Yeah.
And then in the config, I've got all these versions now also. So it does a little bit of a, this is...
Oh, so you can go back to ones you made before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I think I might have some other projection maps because I haven't loaded that many shaders. But yeah, if I go...
Oh, I love that.
Cycle through these. It's a little bit is another tricky part with the things being heavier, because the GLSL node, I think if you fully replace the code, it clears the memory, but there's a little bit of a memory leak just on the TD side with the GLSL code. It doesn't clear shaders from memory until you close the project. So just deleting the shader. Deleting the shader, I think, closes it, but adding new code into the GLSL, there's something
just
weird.
Stacking them one after the other in the memory.
Yeah, not ideal. And then if I go, or let's go just for kicks, Claude 3.5 Sonnet, just the normal one, not an old version. Generate shader with that. And this should be better. No promises, but Claude's a bit better at this. If anyone has an idea for a shader, I can run it.
Ask it for a Voronoi shader that tries to mimic cell division.
Voronoi. Oh, I was like, I'm nervous to type that because it's gonna kick me out. Oh, and we got Claude did not do better. We got nothing. What is this? What is it even trying to do? God, that's so much. There's a scanning effect. It correctly formatted it. I'm automatically adding the uniforms as well. And then I've got good Python code that automatically adds the uniforms. And if anyone here does GLSL with touch, this is super fun. It automatically adds all of the blocks for the uniforms and the vectors in the GLSL, and then also puts them in the parent. So that it exposes everything automatically. Right. And if you want to use input 1, you do that. And you got to list this.
Something in. That's cool.
I've got these 3. They automatically create the ends and stuff.
Love that.
I went. This was an early LOP that I spent like 3 days making, and then 4 days playing with. But yeah, well, you said Voronoi.
Yeah, a Voronoi texture that mimics cell division.
Mimics cell division. Nice. Generate shader. And then this will actually be in a...
This is a pretty easy thing to do with just like shader editor, so it should be relatively trivial for it to do.
Are the values just terrible? Oh, U corner 1, U corner 2, U corner grid density.
No U corner.
No meat corner. Vector blocks thing. Let's take these away.
That's weird.
Generate shader. Claude's being. Oh, do I have in one? Nope. Claude sucks. Most of the ops I've got different options for this. Whoa.
Close enough.
Jesus. That is a Voronoi texture. Let's see. All right. Now, cell
Very
count.
fast cell division.
Division speed. Maybe bring that down. Oh, doesn't seem like that actually changes anything. Cell color also doesn't change anything. Oh, there we go. I just needed to sync it.
Oh, neat.
So now we've got...
Yeah.
Nice. And a little red color. Oh, yeah. It's even got the color in there.
Fantastic.
Now let's make it blue. Purple. Yeah.
Whoa.
Cell count going crazy. Milliseconds are still good. And then that's in your stack. If you wanted to be fancy, you change this name and it'll give you the versioning of that.
Love that.
But yeah, that's a good one. And then you can just test what all the models will do with this prompt, and you can waste all of your API credits like I did one day.
And plus the seed too would probably make a different shader.
Well, yeah, just running this again with the same model will definitely create something different, because the temp is, I think I've got seed. Yeah, seed's on -1.
Yeah.
And this, the GLSL creator runs through whatever model's loaded within ChatTD. If we go on the back end, on the .lops. Chat TD is up here. This is actually just a fully fledged, like I could say, hey, and get a response back.
Neat. Yeah.
And this one has streaming mode. I haven't made anything with LOPs to actually stream. Tell me a long story about Purrs.
Purrs is a cat. Yeah, I knew it.
You've asked this before. What happens when Purrs starts his own YouTube channel? Feline guides to internet fame. That's great. But this is a tool that I've released previously, and I've made a bunch of adjustments to it, and it's also got this, where is it, custom API call function. And this function is what every single operator runs the LLM call through.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, everything is routing through one Python thing, hopefully is then scalable. People can build upon it as well. But yeah, I see the LOPs becoming more of like a testing ground, but also a place for me to release a bunch more stuff instead of just kind of releasing one-off tools on my Patreon or whatever. Can figure out the right way. Maybe there's like the open source version. Maybe I release even some just on my Patreon. Like maybe the GLSL creator isn't free, but the others, yeah. Figuring out what works well for that.
Yeah, I mean, you can put it all on your Patreon. It's, it's hard work.
I think I definitely will at first, but there might be some stuff that I want to just like have such the bare bones of it open source so that people can build upon, and maybe they want to reverse engineer or try to create like an alternate way to go about it. Amazing. And then, yeah, got a web scraper.
Got your own category of operator nodes on TouchDesigner.
Async web scraper, source. Oh, Serper. This is fun. More Purrs. I don't know. You think so? This is just an image search. So we got Purrs, AI Art Jam. Nice. These are all in a web render. Instanced web renders.
Oh, that's cool. Peter asks if Derivative will pick this up and put LOPs in
Not sure.
Designer.
Maybe. There's been no sign or hint at that, but
listen, Derivative, you back a dump truck full of money up to Dot's house and he'll sort you out, all right?
Yeah, I could get it started. I don't even know what there's a handoff node.
This guy doesn't even know his own nodes.
I have no clue what this would do.
Probably something you had to fix for like 10 minutes.
I think it's I have no clue.
Documentation. You should document your nodes. So just for yourself.
Oh, I mean I could look at a Python class and just read the code. What are you doing?
What you doing?
Okay. What are you calling? Get the conversation.
Actually, that's not a bad idea for a LOP. It's a code inspector that looks at the code and gives you like a summary of what happens.
Yeah. The summarize?
Oh, you already got it. Yeah, nice.
Oh no, that just summarizes the input. Like it just reduces data. Like if you have a long conversation, you could quote unquote just ask the model to summarize. That's something I've been using like in Claude. Oh, I don't need to put a summarize inside of another node.
Is that like the Apple thing where you get too many text messages from your girlfriend and it's like long conversation. It was like she's tired. Relationship is over. You can pick up your stuff on Thursday.
Oh no, yeah. The text summarization thing is kind of, I don't know. It's not too bad. I don't hate it.
I don't have a new enough phone to try it out.
Nice, yeah. It's weird when it summarizes like Discord notifications, and it'll be like, "Oh, Purrs is talking about his live stream with dotsimulate." It's
nice.
But also, like LM Studio is releasing a new beta version, but it like combines it and shortens it into like one sentence.
The two nerds are fighting about something in Anadoka.
Yeah, there's an extreme nerd off. You want to join?
Yeah. Press X to join.
Oh, the tool dat is another fun one. That's what this. Where are we?
Holy cow.
This boy over here is the tool dat. And this is what this agent has used to create this table.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can give the tool dat, or yeah, that's what it's called. You can give the tool dat a reference to this table, and you can have it clear before call, inject context, meaning like this is put into the prompt for the model. And then you can have it either append new data, insert, delete, update, replace all. This is kind of, work in progress, but if I ran this agent right here, let's just copy and paste this to make sure I have that. It'll clear this, and then this agent will, ComfyUI is not connected. Ah, yes. That's because it's trying to run it automatically. Doesn't look like it made it. Let's run it again. Gemini Pro, come on. Oh, I can probably do Gemini 2 Pro now. This one feels more like it. Nope. Never mind. Sorry, folks.
I gave up.
I'm giving up. Pro 1.5? Sure.
We spent $45 in compute credits tonight, but it was worth it.
Yeah. I could check my OpenRouter dashboard.
Just don't display your API keys.
I'm not even going to display my dashboard. Models, chats, credits, keys. Got $2 in credits. Activity. No, I've used like 5 cents today.
Let's go.
So yeah. But if you do anything overnight or do anything automated, be careful because turning this call on table change could waste $30 in a couple minutes.
Especially if you have it on auto reload. I don't know if OpenRouter does it, but something else I was using, they have an auto reload, and they're like, "Oh, would you like to set the how much you can do it in an hour or whatever?"
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's like, $40 an hour. Yeah,
There's a little bit of that. I specifically made this hold chat, which it's you can write code to do anything when certain like events happen. The callbacks here is it's actually just displaying this, but like if you were to turn this on, it would basically stop the conversation from moving or changing.
Oh yeah.
Anywhere after 1,024 tokens for the whole conversation.
Oh, okay.
Or
so you can,
after
like,
10 messages.
Thresholds.
Yeah, or just like this manual button that I can toggle. And or lock when held in. There's a bunch of stuff. Bunch of kinks to work out as well. But it's definitely been fun. And
this is super powerful.
I think at some point, probably right now, I can create a LOP project that I use to make the rest of the LOPs.
That's interesting.
So like give it basically all of the code for all of the other LOPs as well. I basically do that now, but with cursor. I don't have that folder open. There's no folder open, but
right.
I have like a little development folder that's synced to a local Git. Little fire hydrant or something. And that with all of that context, because all of the logic for most of these operators is just entirely baked into the extension class for it. So it totally sees my coding patterns. And then with that, I think the I think one of these source ops, maybe the source GitHub, which basically like scrapes a GitHub repo with all the code and the stuff, which kind of silly because you can just clone it. No, it scrapes it and puts it into a format ready for RAG, because I've also got like RAG.
No, that's
I've got RAG working. So anytime, let's do the web scraper because that's more fun. But
it's like a local code sage type thing, right?
Maybe. What is that?
That's it's a project where you can it feeds a GitHub into a RAG, and then you can talk to a repo.
Oh yeah,
I think that's what it's called. It might not be code.
It's exactly
sage,
that. Let's do it. I don't know. You got custom nodes, right? Do you have any custom nodes?
Me? No, not online. Just
nothing released. Nice. Who's Phil does?
Yeah,
Phil
you
nodes.
go Phil nodes. Yeah.
So we got Phil nodes coming in, which is right here. But I'm just going to copy the URL. Start URL there, and it looks through and starts to grab all the content from this, and it's grabbing security, and let's just stop scraping. That's enough. And then within this, I can add a RAG index, and let's create, I don't know, I don't really need to name it, but fill nodes. Don't think the underscore versus space actually makes a difference there. It's going to pause because this is the first time I've imported this library, or it's just crashing, which could also be an option. Nope. It's creating an index. So now, it's done. All right. So now we've got a RAG index to search over, which it's like, this is not that much information, but then you can do the RAG retriever, which is for some reason linked to this. Interesting. And add message, and I can just be like, I don't know. This Git scraper didn't work that well because it went from Phil to github.com. Come on, let's go again. Oh no, stop. Start of content. There, it's actually better. All right, clear all. Now start. Oh, no. Bug. Clear all clears the text field. Fill node start of content. No. All right, GitHub scraper's not working. You know what might work? This. Web scraper on GitHub. Start scraping. Fill nodes. Oh, it's doing the same exact thing. Wow.
It must see the links on the page.
Oh, it's because I am using.
Recursively.
No, I'm using the web scraper. I'm not using this GitHub scraper. Oh, I'm silly. Parse repository. I don't have my GitHub API call, so this is going to use all of my my entire rate limit. But yeah, look at that. It's got the full repo.
Oh yeah,
going in there.
All the pies and
first completes. So now plug this in the RAG index creator. Create the index. And we see now it's created super fast. And now we can search, I don't know, what nodes does he have?
You can search for the word K-sampler. He's got some Phil's custom K-samplers in there.
Yeah. We can ask a question like, I guess it doesn't have context on, I don't know, what is special about K-sampler. That's a comparison, so it's not really, it might be tough, but make sure it's looking at the right RAG index. It's looking for searching in fill nodes, and we can get the top 10 results. And now we got the K-sampler XYZ plot, also some code, some retrying in 5 seconds. Oh, yeah, it looks like I hit my GitHub API.
Well, honestly, that XYZ thing is kind of what it does. I mean, it does tiling, right? So that's what makes it different than the other K-sampler. That's pretty cool.
And you can throw a agent here, and then what the agent is actually going to see is, whoa, what the heck going on? Both these I need to figure out how to clear a weird thing. Actually, no, this is a touch. I think this is, I'm going to be confident and say that's a TouchDesigner bug, that it reconnects to the node that it was connected with last. Because I think they talked about that at one of the events with some of the developers. So it's the user has a question, and then it inserts a system message that has, here's the relevant context for answering the user's question, and then it just plops all 10 of these in there, which is really silly because we only really need one. Now, if we OpenRouter Claude, this automatically gets set to whatever your chat TD is set at, which is fun, but I don't know, it doesn't matter. Gemma 2. It's not a very smart model, but now it's looking at all of this and it's going to try to answer what is, yeah, it says basically it doesn't know the inner workings of a K sampler without context. And it just talks about AI.
All the settings and stuff. That's cool.
Well, it's not really greedy sampling, random sampling. It's kind of, that's not the best response.
It looks like it's filling in with its own knowledge of stuff.
Here's what I can infer. So yeah, here's, I guess, at least proof that involves 3D coordinate systems, the presence of node FL Dolly 3 and FL save images, just a workflow involving image creation. So it's already got a lot more context. Obviously, this is probably not the most specific thing, but yeah.
That's really cool.
This is another thing that I'm working on. If anyone's really screen scoping, you can maybe tell what it is. Discord parser. But trying to create a workflow for basically replacing me in my Discord for answering questions. Not replacing me, but helping me.
I might be interested in that.
Oh yeah.
Just to answer the same questions over and over again.
It works really well. It was working pretty well. I've tested it on like most of the recent troubleshooting things people have posted, and it gets close, especially if I've talked about it before.
Yeah.
I basically I scrub everyone's names. Like I'm being very careful about anonymizing that data. But then I leave my name in it, and then I tell the AI that it is me, basically, and that it sees like past history that is verifiably truthful, and then I tell it to only respond to the user based on verified true data. And yeah, it kind of seems to trick the model into not hallucinating and going off in its tangent. I'm sure it's very easy to break. Like this is like the most easily jailbreakable model, and that's the point of it, is not to be like some fancy shiny product. The point is just to be like a very helpful thing for people in my community. And then if people wanted to, I don't know, if they wanted to mess around with it and send it like weird messages to see how it would react, that could also be fun. But yeah, I figured, yeah, we'll see.
Amazing, man. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's been a lot of stuff. I guess I kind of covered the comfy node. Yeah, you guys get it. It's just comfy in TouchDesigner. Easy.
Yeah, I love the way you've integrated everything. It's so cool. Because, at its base essence, ComfyUI is really just a giant Python workflow automator, with a fancy front end. But you don't even need to use the front end as you're showing here.
Yeah, and there's a couple things. There's a couple things that I could do. I can make this a little bit better for sure. I haven't released an update in a minute. My next update won't be crazy, but it'll basically make this operator work like it's quote unquote intended to. There's I just opened, didn't pop up in the same monitor. I just hit the question mark here, which is like the help guides. No, I don't think I'm flashing anything bad today.
Nice.
But yeah, you've got all of your workflows for your that you've saved in this one specific folder, and you can easily switch between them, like this Lotus thing. Let me save this project just so that I've definitely broken it. Lotus depth, and then you basically toggle all the parameters, and you'll see these settings are here still, but I'm going to clear those. So now we've got anything on the settings page is like active settings that you can change. And I can then hit update API parameters, and now we've got all of the parameters with like all of your models, because I guess my depth is just, what is that that's just in the UNet folder? Forget.
Yeah, it looks like it. That's where Flux hangs out.
And then we got our vase here, and then you can load an image. So if we were to just do this image, go generate. Oh, nice. Launch Comfy for me, buddy. That was super handy. Comfy's not even open. But yeah, so it would make a depth map with this, and then you could come in here. I made it kind of handy so that when you change these parameters, it'll keep any settings that are the same. So if you hit update, it is still saying Lotus depth outputs, but this depth pro model, this workflow doesn't have like a K sampler. But if you've loaded another workflow with a K sampler, it would be like the load checkpoint. It would load like the Lotus depth as your checkpoint, which might not be ideal. That's why I did the clear parameters before loading the new workflow. But yeah, I've got like this Flux Snell image to image with depth with differential diffusion. So it does image to image and generates a depth map and has some sort of like masking thing.
Yeah.
So I can toggle all these on, update the parameters, and then we've got all these. But this is basically every single parameter in the Comfy workflow that you could edit or change. And oh yeah, look, depth anything. Oh no, that's the right node. But you likely for this would only really want, I don't know, like probably seed. Oh no, let's toggle them all off. Seed, your prompt, and your image, and maybe denoise. So now update the parameters, and now your whole workflow is just dealing with what you want and just dealing with what you really need. And then everything else, it's still running the same exact workflow, but everything, like you don't have to look at that or deal with it.
Yeah, that's superb.
One super awesome thing that I would like to do is I have like this open browser button, which is cool. Like, oh, cool, it just opens Comfy. I was playing on my parents' piano and trying to see what that audio would do.
Oh, right.
To it. Didn't do too well. It's like not even worth showing. Just imagine like piano nonsense.
Sounds, yeah.
Like it wasn't even close to what I could probably do a better video. Maybe find like a professional one with like close up on one hand. But
yeah.
Oh yeah. Open the browser. It would be cool if I could have it open the Comfy workflow in the browser. I could probably figure that out. But it would be even cooler if it would open the Comfy workflow like here, or in like a little pop-up, like
you could zoom into it. Yeah.
This type of thing, and then I can just like pop it over, like delete that node, add a new node, and then hit X. And then it would update this actual API workflow, and then you could like really iterate and build from a couple workflows here. But for now, there's just like the save API workflow button in Comfy if you enable the dev options. And yeah, I mean that's basically the quick and dirty Comfy thing. I've got this nice anything created by this operator you can rate and then sort by rating. So it's a nice easy way to just look through stuff, and then you can also save top rated. It'll tell you how many you've rated, and then you can say, oh, I want to only do the top 12. and then hit OK. I'm not going to do it, but it'll then pops up a folder selection menu. You select your folder, and then you can have like a folder of all your top outputs.
That's awesome. That's a really cool way to deal with the bloat of all your output folder, because mine's just a dumpster fire.
Yeah, so then these are the top 40 LTX videos. I've already saved that folder.
Yeah.
But some of these spooky ones were fun. That actually created some good MM audio outputs. I'm not streaming audio from my computer outside, like play some of that back, but
and that's cool too.
You guys can
like when you
check that out.
All that stuff has the workflows in them too. All those MP4s and stuff.
Yeah. So anything generated by this, generated in the API via touch, it saves the workflow, but it doesn't save everything because it's run through the API. So when you open like one of these PNGs, I can go display view file and folder, which opens that file in the folder. But if I was to open my browser, it's also, you can tell, like I don't launch Comfy outside of touch. I don't do anything with Comfy other than like building the workflows.
Right.
But like in order to launch Comfy, I just drag I drag my op in and hit launch.
Yeah.
This is the way I interface with these things. I just build a TouchDesigner tool in order to work with it. But so we can go here, and then I think, where's my folder? Is it this one? Yeah. So if I drag this output, you'll see we do get the workflow, but we get the workflow in this like annoying, like it doesn't save the node placement information.
Right.
But you still do get like you could still load this in and be like, oh, screw this. I don't want this. I want like the fancy clip encode or like, I don't know why you would, but isn't there like a better one that has claims to have like styles or something?
Oh, maybe, I don't know. I just use the old fashioned D one.
I think there's one that yeah, I really need to reset this up, that workflow. There's one that had better like prompt weighting, or so it claimed, but I'm sure it's been just implemented into base Comfy.
Yeah, you just it has the automatic 1111 thing now, where you select the phrase and hit Control up and down on the arrow keys, and it'll
nice.
It'll wait inside the prompt for you.
That was always really handy.
Yeah.
Activity monitor's fun. This shows you everything about what you're doing in TouchDesigner. So anytime I hover over a new thing or click on a new thing, or change a parameter,
it's like a log.
It edits it. So yeah, this is the start of. I have created a workflow that, if you drop the rag index, I think the doc table folder, the base folder. Come on, reset parameter. Oh. I thought I set the default of this to be the local documentation, but there's local docs, so you can just scrape. Oh no, it's a doc scraper. Source docs. Here we go. The default for this is the offline help. So if I parse all these, which it's going to take too long because it's 1,800 files, but let's say, all right, I'm just going to stop this. We got 4% through, but that's enough. And now create local docs. A index of all these local docs. Oh, no documents to process. Interesting. Bug report. Oh, there. Now, this is when the actual index creation takes a little bit of time because it's actually doing something. But 75 docs, it doesn't take too long. 1,800 docs, it takes like 5 minutes or something to do a full rag on all of the documentation for touch. This will run. It runs the percentage up a couple times. I don't know why. See, it finished up there. It should pop in like crazy. Ooh, yeah. And now I've got RAG going over like in alphabetical order all the way almost to the end of the A's. But the setup was, the local docs all sourced, and then activity monitor looking at everything that I'm doing. And then one agent was trying to figure out what I was doing, and then the next agent was trying to help me. And it was just spouting like complete nonsense. But eventually I think that is a really handy way of these agents. I'm sure Claude computer use or something like that will probably take precedent or be more impressive for a little bit, but some sort of agent that knows how you work with your DCC and is like predicting it a little bit or giving, it would probably be good to just like ask it stuff almost like cursor style, but to have like the cursor for touch where it really has all that context of you as a user versus just being trained off the web.
Yeah, because, we all use this stuff differently. For sure. That's really cool. God damn, dude. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that was like... That's like the full set. At least this project. Which I think this has been my like working LOPs development zone while I've been on vacation. I built like... I guess there's like 3 main setups in this. Or this one was these are all from today.
If you want access to this, just harass Dot.
Yeah. No, I am happy to send. It won't be this version. So I think there's a couple things I don't have in the version that have out for like alpha testing. But I do have a link that I can send people if they maybe promise to give a little bit of feedback to me over DM.
Yeah, no, that'd be super handy. I think anybody who's willing to test this should be willing to help. Let's go. Let's help each other.
Yeah. And I'm also, if you do that, I'm happy to build a lot for you probably. Most of the features for StreamDiffusion have just been like this, like a couple of my friends being like, why haven't you done this yet? And I'm like, oh, true. And then I make it that night and I'm like, I'm so glad you asked me like on that day because now I have embeddings working.
Yeah.
But
it's so easy to push down the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I'll slip down there quick.
Right on, man. Well, I mean, I think we're at about the 2.5 hour mark, so this is probably a good point to throw a bow on it. But this has been incredibly informative. Do you have anything coming up that you want to talk about or let people know to look out for?
I would say generally, I think I'm due for a bunch of updates. So if you are interested in even joining my Patreon for free, because you can just join it for free and you'll see anytime I post on there.
Mm-hmm.
And there might be, when you join my Patreon for free, there might be a link to my Discord. But there's also a link to my Discord if you are a paying member or a past paying member, I guess. I don't kick you out of my Discord, but that's where I'll post some like more work in progress stuff. And then there's also like a community share section where you could even post like some operators or something yourself, even if it's like 2 things tied together. But there's been like some like community branches. For a while there was like a Mac support that was working for a couple people that like someone made just working. And that was awesome. I was like, I didn't ask you to do this. Why'd you do this? This is so like, this is crazy. And he's like, yeah, do you want to release this? And I was like, I would love to, but there's been some really awesome community members and helpful people over there.
Wicked.
Got like 3,000 people in my Discord. It's pretty crazy.
God damn. Let's go. Yeah, join Dot's Patreon. Join. I'll put all the links in the description below so you can follow him on all the socials.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for going down this rabbit hole with us. I'm once again completely overwhelmed and inspired. This is incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible, man.
Yeah. Thanks so much for bringing me on. We've had this scheduled for like a minute. I was like, I was about to be so disappointed if my plane ride just got delayed for like, I mean, it wouldn't be delayed for like that long, but it was delayed for 4 hours.
Oh man.
And I was like, oof, I'm not making the 6:30 time.
That's
and yeah, no, glad we made it work. I'll have you on my stream or something sometime once I start that. But
that sounds super fun. Yeah, and we'll have you back on soon. I got guests lined up for the next few months, so every week I'll have a different nerd with me. We'll be nerding live on YouTube. So yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Same old stuff. Pers, Patreon, Discord. Join the Discord if you have comfy questions. That's better than trying to DM me because if I don't get it, someone else will on the Discord. So if you're having problems with comfy or something, you need help, that's the best place to go. I'll catch it if I'm around, but if I'm not around, someone else will catch it. So yeah, and Banadoko and what else? Yeah, I mean, just join the community and make some noise, and go get some models off Civit. My Loras are up there. You can go play with my Flux Loras on Civit. They're on Hugging Face as well. What else? That's all the things, really. My next guest, I believe, is Kent is cooking. Let me double check that.
That's sick.
But Kent is a brilliant artist, and it's going to be super fun to pick his brain. Let me just double check so I'm not lying to y'all.
I think it is.
Yes, scheduled for the 9th. So yeah, we'll have Kent on next week, and we'll probably dive into some animate diff stuff because that's all we ever talk about. So I know Kent's really deep into conditioning embedding and mixing weirdness in with his animations. So I want to pick his brain about how he does that, and hopefully he'll spill some sauce for us. But yeah, come on by and chill out, and thanks for hanging out. And Pers loves you, and thanks again, Dot, and we'll see y'all very soon. Bye bye.
See ya.